Hello, dear fans, friends, and subscribers. Welcome back to the daily cricket show, Cricket Happenings. And on this Cricket Happenings show, I have three matches to cover. One is the match that happened yesterday between the final one day international between Pakistan and New Zealand, where New Zealand completed a clean sweep of the series as they beat Pakistan, but it was a close game. In the end, the match, New Zealand won the match by 15 runs. But the best thing for New Zealand was that this was a clean sweep by by New Zealand of Pakistan in the ODI series 5-0. So I'll be talking about this particular game that happened, and then the second ODI, which was a day-night affair between England and Australia at the Brisbane. Once again, it was England who ruled the roost, as England did a good job by selecting three spinners. Rashid, Moeen Ali, and Joe Root combined very well to take 5 wickets amongst them. It was a wonderful job, and even though Aaron Finch hit his 10th ODI century, well, one has to say that England definitely played well. There were moments for England where but today there were moments for England where they lost Jason Roy pretty early, the hero in the first one-day international. But it was there were some very good contributions coming from Jonathan Bairstow, Alex Hales, and Joss Butler, and then Chris Wokes contributed towards the end, with Joe Root remaining unbeaten as well, and that enabled in fact Australia definitely thinking that they were a spinner short there, because they only had one genuine spinner. Absolutely. I mean, in fact, they didn't have any spinners at all. So that was a big. Even Aaron Finch was being used as a spinner. So probably a sort of a calculation error by the Aussies, as the skipper Stephen Smith did say that in the post-match press conference. So and England won the match by 4 wickets, and now they are sitting pretty in this ODI series by taking a 2-0 lead in this Gillette ODI series right now. So that is as far as this particular ODI is concerned. I'll be talking about this game. And as far as the third match was concerned in the Tri-Series, one was really looking out for a real meaty battle. It never happened, as Bangladesh, with all the stalwarts, the experienced guys, Tamim, Shakib and Mushfiqur Rahim contributing in tandem, it really helped matters for Bangladesh. Bangladesh posted a total of 320 for 7, and what they did is they achieved the highest victory, the highest margin of victory in an ODI, when they beat Sri Lankans by 163 runs. So that was some tremendous stuff from Bangladesh. And especially one was surprised to see Sri Lanka, who are coached by Chandike Hatrasinghe, to put up such a performance. In fact, Sri Lanka now at the bottom of the Tri-Series table. One never thought that Sri Lanka would be surrendering so meekly. In fact, they were bowled out for 157 by the Bangladeshi bowlers. Every bowler doing his bit. Nasir Hussain, Murtaza, Rubel Hussain, Mashraf Murtaza marshalling his troops admirably well. Shakib Al Hassan, everyone did a good job there, as Sri Lanka suffered their second consecutive defeat in the Tri-Series to be at the bottom of the table right now. This was not a good exhibition of batting from Sri Lanka at all. Definitely credit to credit to the Bangladeshis, and Bangladeshis now are on the top of the Tri-Series table with 10 points, with Sri Lanka at the bottom. One thought this was the real match of the Tri-Series, and as I said, one was a really bit surprised that the Sri Lankan innings surrendered so meekly without even putting a fist of a fight, as they were all out for 157, thus paving the way for the highest margin of victory in an ODI by Bangladesh. This is their highest ever margin victory in an ODI against any opposition, and they'll be quite proud of that. And Sri Lanka definitely needs to wake up very quickly now, as 2 matches have gone begging for Sri Lanka. So these are the 3 matches I'm going to cover. And briefly on the news, it was JP Duminy in the list A cricket in South Africa, smashing 37 runs of a single over from a leg spinning bowler by the name Eddie Lee. If at all I have time, we will definitely have a look. And since there are 3 matches, it's going to be a brief match summaries here for sure. So let's start off with the game between New Zealand and Pakistan. So I'll start off from where I left off. When I left you off yesterday on my Cricket Happening show, the New Zealand, as I said, had 271 for 7 on the board. It was led by a Martin Guptill century of 126 balls with 10 fours and 1 6. It happened to be Guptill's 13th ODI century. Grandholm towards the end contributed an unbeaten 29, 2 fours, but I thought the Pakistan bowlers bowled well at the death. So I'm not going to go into the bowling figures, as I've already spoken about it yesterday. 271 for 7. Pakistan were given a target of 272. It was still a struggle, even without with the New Zealand bowling combination not having in fact they didn't have Trent Bolt in the match, as you know. And let's see what really happened. Well, again it was a similar story where the top order could not get going, but today it was Matt Henry who did a triple strike. First he picked up the wicket of Umar Amin by forcing him to edge behind the stumps. So that was the first wicket. He edged in the slip cordon. He was got Taylor ball Henry for 2 and Fakhar, and then Bob, and then we saw the wicket of Fakhar Zaman. Now, Fakhar Zaman was given a real testing time by Matt Henry, where he not only he hit him on his helmet, he beat him outside the off stump. A lot of things happened, and finally Fakhar Zaman, I think, out of his misery, as Fakhar Zaman was really frustrated with Matt Henry bowling a very good line, and it tempted him into an injudicious stroke, and Williamson took the catch. He was gone for 12, 17 deliveries, 2 fours, and Babar Azam, I have to tell you, he was the most consistent player in ODIs for Pakistan. In this particular ODI series, he collected only 31 runs, so that will give you an idea as to how badly Babar Azam has played in this ODI series. His form has been absolutely at an ebb, and that has been a big problem for Pakistan, according to me, as Henry picked up the 3rd wicket by bowling a delivery which Babar Azam nicked into the hands of Guptill at the slips, and he was gone for 10 of 21 deliveries, 2 fours. After that, once again Mohammad Hafiz disappointed. Now Mohammad Hafiz got a ball from Ferguson which was really sitting up to be smacked, but also Mohammad Hafiz had to play it along the ground. Unfortunately he couldn't. He actually gave a catch to Colin Munro. Colin Munro picked up the catch in a wonderful manner. He was gone for 6, and the captain Sarfraz Ahmed perished for 3 to the bowling of Grandholm to leave the New Zealand's innings in real in a very, I would say, the New Zealand innings were really having a sort of a very, very sorry state, one could say, at 57 for 5 in the 17th over. But Haris Sohail definitely showing what a wonderful batsman he can be. The way he played his strokes, the way he was meeting the ball with the bat was a real treat to watch. He hit some nice eye-catching strokes, I would say, down the wicket, which was very good to see. And he was the one who was holding this Pakistani innings. He got support from Shadab Khan, and both actually the Pakistan recovered with an 105-run partnership, as these two players, one is Haris Sohail, the other end Shadab Khan, really showing that he could be a genuine all-rounder for Pakistan in the days to come. He and Shadab Khan put up 105 runs for the 6th wicket to help Pakistan recover to 162, and it was the wicket of after that we saw Haris Sohail, after doing a very good job, finally could not continue, as he perished to the bowling of Santner for 63 of 87 deliveries, 5 fours. Shadab Khan's contribution was 54 of 77 balls with 5 fours. We saw some big hitting coming in from the lower order Pakistani batsmen. Fahim Ashraf smacked 23 of 15 balls, 1 4 and 2 sixes. Omar Yamin was there till the end, not out on 32 of 27 balls with 3 fours and 1 6. Mohammad Nawaz was bowled by Ferguson for 23 of 12 deliveries with 3 4. So everyone really had a sort of a real smack at the New Zealand bowlers to get the Pakistan as close to the target. But unfortunately, it was all over. Ruman Reis was the last man dismissed for 5, which left Omar Yamin not out on 32 of 27 balls with 3 fours and 1 6, as Pakistan were bowled out for 256. But a real exciting match, I would say, because one probably thought that Pakistan would manage to salvage something by winning this, but didn't happen. And New Zealand on an absolute roll here, crushing Pakistan in the ODI series 5-0. Saudi Nine was done for 46. Matt Henry did a fantastic job coming in place of Trent Bolt. 10 overs, 1 made in 53 runs and 4 wickets. Bowled a superb line. Grandholm 1 for 48. Lockie Ferguson 10 overs, 2 for 64. And Santner 10 overs, no maiden, 40 runs and 3 wickets. Also did a fine job. Martin Guptill took away the player of the match and also the player of the series award for his very good exploits in this ODI series against Pakistan. So congratulations to New Zealand for doing a clean sweep of Pakistan in the ODI series 5-0. The next match that I'm going to look at is the second one-day international. We are talking about the Gillette ODI series, which is happening between Australia and England. And one was really waiting for this match, no doubt about it. And it was the Australians who were batting first. And one knew that this was a very good batting track here at the Brisbane Cricket Ground at the Woolloongabba. It was the toss was won by Australia, and they elected to bat first. And definitely the openers were doing a very good job. David Warner and Finch, and they had taken the score to 68. But then Ali picked up David Warner's wicket for 35, 40 runs, 5 fours. But Aaron Finch, as I said, went on to his 10th ODI century, and I'm told he's also the fastest to 10 ODI centuries, and that is a real sort of a pride for Aaron Finch. He made 106. He had a job there. The Stephen Smith could not continue. Joe Root actually, there was definitely some turn in the pitch as well, which really helped matters, and England had actually done a very smart move of having 3 spinners in the mix. In fact, Joe Root was the one who had a good trundle. Stephen Smith was LBW ball Root for 18 of 25 balls with 1 6. Travis Head also fell to the bowling of Root, cotton ball Root for 7. Mitchell Marsh made 36 of 43 before Butler actually stumping him. Marsh was yards down the wicket to Adil Rashid. Adil Rashid picked up Stoinis pretty quickly by getting him caught by Butler. Cameron White, who was included, was not out on 15, staying till the end, gave a bit of support to Aaron Finch. But Aaron Finch was the one who was the sort of, I would say, sort of a standing figure there, as Aaron Finch made 106 of 114 balls with 9 fours and 1 6. Alex Carey, the wicket keeper, was given a debut, and he really impressed with his knock of 27 of 24 balls with 4 boundaries. He was not afraid to go over the top, which was good to see. Mitchell Starc was out for 3 and it was over. So I thought the England doing a very good job there of restricting the Aussies to 270 for 9. As I said, it was a good batting track to bat on. Yes, there was definitely turn on the wicket. There's no doubt about it. As I said, England did a smart move by, including the spinners. Wood none for 55. Did not look the same Wood that we saw in the first ODI. Vokes 9 overs 1 for 37. Plunkett 8 overs 1 for 43. Vokes did a fine job, I thought. Moeen Ali 1 for 31. Adil Rashid 2 for 71 was costly. Joe Root 7 overs 2 for 31. As far as England were concerned, their start was not good. Mitchell Starc forcing Jason Roy to flicker the delivery, and Finch actually picking up the catch. He was gone for 2, but there was no joy for Australia, as Jonathan Barristow contributed 60 of 56 balls with 9 fours. Alex Hales making 57 of 60 deliveries, 7 fours and 1 6. Jai Richardson was very impressive with his pace here. He was bowling some beautiful Yorkers, and he nipped Barristow and Hales in one particular over for 60 and 57 respectively. He clean bowled Alex Hales and got Jonathan Barristow's wicket as well. And then it was Morgan who contributed 21 before being bowled by Stark, 27, that was 2 fours, 1 6. Butler contributed 42 of 32, that was 5 fours. But Joe Root was standing there and seeing to it that he would be piloting England to victory. Moeen Ali left pretty soon, clean bowled by Stark for 1. But Chris Wokes was there to give him company till the end as England won the second one-day international by 4 wickets. Joe Root was the man of the match with an unbeaten 46 of 58 deliveries, 1-4. Chris Wokes was not out on an impressive 39 of 27 deliveries, 5 fours and 1 6. The bowling, Mitchell Starc 10 overs 4 for 59 was amongst the wickets, but Jai Richardson was impressive on his one-day ODI debut. 10 overs 1 made and 2 for 57 for Jai Richardson. 7 overs for 55 for Travis Head was a bit costly. Was the only genuine spinner, I would say, in the ranks, and that is the a costly error that Australia committed, where England definitely prospered. Andy Tynan was none for 47. Finch bowled 3 overs for 17. Michael Stoinis 4.2 was none for 34. Got a bit of severe tap there. Marsh 1 for 4. And Joe Root, as I said, was the man of the match. So that is as far as that particular match is concerned. Now let's talk about the game where Bangladesh, the hosts, were taking on Sri Lanka, and one was really waiting for it to see how the Hathura Singhe teams would be doing. As you know, Bangladesh have been coached by Hathura Singhe, and now Sri Lanka are being coached by Hathura Singhe. And talking about this, as for Bangladesh, it was all about the stalwarts. Anamul Haq at the top of the order made a brisk 35, 37 deliveries, 3 fours and 1 6. But it was all about those experienced players all coming together, and that was the good thing for Bangladesh, and this is what Bangladesh needs all the time. Tamim Iqbal contributing 84 of 102 deliveries, 7 fours and 2 sixes. Shakib Al Hasan contributing 67 of 63 deliveries, 7 fours. Mushfiqur Rahim contributing 62 of 52 deliveries, 4 fours and 1 6. It's really formed a real sort of a cornerstone for this Bangladesh innings to go and reach 320 for 7 in the final bend. Mushfiqur and Mahmudullah contributed 24 of 23, 2 fours, 1 6. Sabir Rahman clouded 24 of 12 balls with 3 fours and 1 6. Was not out at the end. Mashfiq Murtaza was out for 6. Hussain for not. Mohammad Saifuddin was not out on 6. And as I said, it was all due to Shakib Al Hasan, the 3 stalwarts, Shakib Al Hasan, Tamim Iqbal, and Mushfiqur Rahim, the experienced guys, really chiseling in an innings and helping help Bangladesh post 320 on the board. Lakmal definitely was really given a real working, I would say, especially in the end when Sabir Rahman hit him for 2 fours and 1 6. Lakmal 9 overs, none for 60. It's a very unusual thing that you see in Sranga Lakmal. Fernando 10 overs, 2 for 66. Dhananjaya 1 for 40 was the pick among them. Pereira 9 overs, 3 for 60. Gunaratne 5 overs, 1 for 38. De Silva 7 overs, none for 51. As far as Sri Lanka were concerned, there was a target of 321 and one was waiting for some stiff fight from Sri Lanka. I have to say the credit goes to the Bangladeshi bowlers who did a fine job. Look at the bowling figures. Nasir Hussain was the one who provided them a very important breakthrough when he clean bowled Kushal Pereira for just 1 run. Taranga made 25. The highest scorer was Chandimal with 20. Tisra Pereira was the highest scorer once again. 29 of 14 balls, 3 fours and 2 sixes, but his pyrotechnics did not help as Sri Lanka had a very steep total to chase. Taranga was out for 25, 35 deliveries, 3 fours. Kushal Mendes struggled a bit, I thought, 19 of 34 deliveries, 1 6, 1 4. Dikwala was out for 16 to the bowling of Mustafizur Rahman, 16 of 22 balls. Chandimal 28, Gunaratne 16. Pereira is the highest scorer. That's in the Silva Duck. Dhananjaya made 14, and a very very tame surrender, I thought, from the Sri Lankan team here. 157 all out. Thus, as I said, Sri Lanka now at the bottom of the table. They have not even opened their account by losing 2 consecutive matches. They really need to get their, I would say, pull up their socks now. In the balance ODI matches that are coming up. Nasir Hussain 4 overs 1 for 20. Mashfiq Murtaza, I thought, not only led the team well, but also displayed some very good bowling. 8 overs, 1 made and 30 runs and 2 wickets to Mustafa Murtaza. Rubelis in 5.2 overs and 2 for 20. He got his 100 ODI wickets as well. So he also did a fine job, I thought. Mustafizur Rahman, 1 for 20. Shakib was in 3 for 47. But I thought it was a total team effort from Bangladesh. And Shakib Al Hassan was named man of the match. So splendid job, Bangladesh. And to beat Sri Lanka, I thought it was quite an achievement for Bangladesh here. And especially considering that Hathra Singh is the coach of the Sri Lankan team. And I'm sure Hathra Singh would definitely be giving a few lessons to the Sri Lankan team after that defeat. Well, dear fans and subscribers, as I said just before I end up, I would have to say just the news that JP Duminy of South Africa, who was playing the list A cricket match, actually smacked 37 runs of a single over from the leg spin bowling of Eddie Lee, and that was the second time in a list A cricket. The record stands in the name of Elton Chigumbra, I suppose, who hit a Bangladeshi bowler for 39 runs in a single over. So JP Duminy came close to it by smacking 37. He probably wanted to emulate the record of Herschel Gibbs of South Africa, who hit 6 sixes, as you would remember, in an international game. But unfortunately, that was not to be, as in one particular, in the second ball, I think he just, Eddie Lee allowed him only 2 runs. So that really sums up everything. It's about time for me to say good night on this daily cricket show of mine. Hope you all enjoyed it, and see you all on my next Cricket Happening show tomorrow. Thank you.